At the end of this day, one shall stand, one shall fall.
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime. And today we're going to be taking a look at Robots in Disguise, Optimus Prime. And I love this toy. Now this is the guy right here that got me back into collecting Transformers and Optimus Primes. Now, you know, when Generation 1 came out, I was a kid of the 80s, and my first Transformer was Optimus Prime. Sadly, I don't have him anymore. I've got some of the reissues. But then, you know, as things go, I grew up. I went in the Army. When Generation 2 and Beast Wars and all of that was going on, I wasn't really paying attention to Transformers. I was busy, you know, driving trucks of my own in the Army and jumping out of airplanes and doing all that kind of cool stuff. So when this guy came out, when Robots in Disguise came out, I remember seeing a picture of this guy in a toy magazine, and they made a big deal out of it because it was the Autobots returning to vehicle modes. And specifically, Optimus Prime was going to be a fire truck. They had pictures of him, and I just thought he looked so cool. I knew I had to have him when he came out. So it was this very guy sitting right here in front of us. When he came out, I went out and got him, and this is the guy that re-sparked my love for collecting Transformers and Optimus Primes. And this is the guy that kind of restarted it all for me back again. I absolutely adore this toy. It's got a very, very special place in my heart. Now, if I seem a little rushed, I apologize. I don't mean to be, but I'm trying to keep these videos under 30 minutes, and I know I tend to be a little long-winded. I can run a little long sometimes, and this guy is very elaborate. He's very involved. He does a lot of stuff, and I want to try and get to everything that he does in under 30 minutes. So let's get right to it. Released in 2001, this guy, I believe, was the first time we were introduced to the super size class, and originally retailed for $29.99. I actually remember going out and purchasing this guy at the store for $30. Right here in truck mode, he's approximately 13 inches tall, about 5 inches tall right here at the water cannon, so take that into consideration when planning your displays. Yeah, he's got some rubber wheels. You can see I'm rolling him around. I'm trying not to move him around too much. He does have the front wheels on both sides actually have developed a split, and that's just a sign of age. You know, this guy usually sits in robot mode, so it's not even like he sits on the tires. It's just age, the rubber decays. So I'm trying to take it easy on this guy. As far as gimmicks goes, he's got a few gimmicks right here in the front of the water cannons. You got a red button right here. If you push back on that, it deploys 2 water cannons that he actually used on the show. Very cool there. And then if you look on top, you're going to see there are 4 missile launchers. And if you come around the back, there's a tab right here. Now what's pretty cool about this tab, if you push the tab in all the way, all 4 of the missile launchers pop out. But this takes a little practice, takes a little skill. Doesn't always work for me either. So let's see, hopefully we'll get this guy to work. If you ever so gently push on it just a little bit at a time, you get the cannons to pop out one at a time. We'll see if we can make that happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. Awesome! It worked the first time. So there's your missile cannons there, and if you look right on top, every single one of them has a red button. You press on that, missile goes flying. Spring-loaded missiles, and after all these years, they work just fine. So there you go, missile launchers, and then he's also got right here around the front. We got some electronics. I'm gonna put those away and pop this guy up just a little bit. You see the light bars right here, and there's a button right in the middle. And there's about 4, I think it's 4 sounds that he makes. Not in any particular order. They can be a little random. We'll go through those real quick. Fire, you hear some missile or some cannons shooting. I absolutely love that. Fire, truck sirens, and lights blinking. How cool is that? That's just awesome. Okay, and it can go a little long. See, just like me. Optimus Prime maximize. I guess he just carried that over from Beast Wars. And Autobots transform, and that's all his sounds. That's pretty nice. He kind of went through all of them real quick, one at a time. So there you go. So there's that. He's got this water cannon on the side here, and I don't know how well that's showing, but you know you can kind of rotate this guy around, and this is also removable. I'm going to go ahead and remove this now because this is going to become Optimus's handgun when we get to robot mode. So there's that real quick, and we'll set that off to the side. And then I'm going to adjust the camera here just a second because we're about to get a little tall. I want to show you guys this ladder. This ladder is so cool. I'll try and back up here a little bit. As you saw earlier, I could tilt this up, and I'm going to tilt it all the way up. So you can tilt it up. It does rotate all the way around. You hear a nice clackety ratchet there. And then he's also, you can take this thing all the way up, and you can fold this forward. But also, in fact, I think this might actually work as a better angle. Let's kind of do this as if we were in a real situation here. So you've got Optimus right there. And this ladder actually extends. So if he were to be shooting those, let's see, he's using the water cannons and he's shooting them up into a building, he can actually extend that to fire, shoot water up under the top of the building. And just look at the size of that. This guy is massive. That thing just keeps going and going. So that's really, really cool. With the ladder, with it not extended, if you bring it just all the way back down again and you point it straight up, he's going to go about, this is about 11 and a half, 12 inches tall, just extended straight up like this. And then it extends on itself and it doubles in length. So if you extend it all the way up, he is just short of 2 feet tall when you extend that ladder all the way up. And that's just so cool. All right, so there's the truck mode. We're going to get into transformation. And like I said, this guy is very involved. There's a lot of steps. So for transformation into regular robot mode, what we're going to do is we're pretty much going to take this entire fire truck completely apart. So let me see if I can get a better angle right here. I'm going to pop the ladder up again. I'm going to split this truck right here. We're going to take these sides and we're going to pop these off to the side and go ahead and take them all the way around and just wrap them around the front of the truck. Same thing on this side. Pop that out, wrap it around the front, just like that. And now you've got that going on. Now, we're going to separate the truck right here, what's going to be the back of his waist, from these. They got 2 tabs on each side connected to these 2 pieces here. And if anything else falls apart in the process, that's fine. It's actually meant to do that. So you just take the truck and split it right there. And he can grab on. Sometimes he has a tendency to just grab on and not want to go. And that's because these pieces, in fact, that's fine. That works just fine. Because of the way these pieces are designed, you're going to see that there's some joints right here and right here. There's some pin joints. These are designed to swivel out for transformation. So sometimes when you're trying to pull it apart, these will swivel and it'll make it difficult to pop off. So that actually works out just fine, because now you can just take these pieces and just pop them straight out. So that works just fine. Like I said, we're going to take this entire fire truck and take it completely apart. We're going to set the front of the cab right there. There's these 2 pieces that just came out from these 2 sides right here. Okay? And these were mounted on the sides by way of these 2 pegs and those 2 ports. So just to show you real quick what that would have looked like had we successfully removed the cab without popping any pieces off, it would have looked just like that. So we just take these pieces, pop these off, just like so. Set these off to the side. Take these pieces here with the Autobot symbols, and these also going to pop out. Just pop these out straight forward. And again, these guys can really get in there sometimes. So just pop that forward. Pop that one forward, just like that. And that's what these 2 pieces look like. And we'll set those aside. And then finally, we're going to take this whole piece with the ladder here, and you're going to see the base of the ladder right there. And then you'll notice there's the super robot head and the chest piece. This whole thing here is going to separate from the back of the truck, just like that. 2 pegs here, 2 ports right there. Those just plug in right like that. Separate those, and we're going to set all of that off to the side. Now we're going to concentrate on the robot mode. Let's see where that's out of the way right there. That works. Now let's get to the rest of the robot mode. Now we've got the front half of the cab here. We're going to go ahead and take the cab at the top of the roof here, between the roof of the cab and the light bars, and we're just going to split that. And you're going to see when you split it, pretty much the entire robot is going to unfold in front of us, just like that. Double hinge here, hinge there, 3 hinges, he folds all the way around. Now, we wrap these guys around already. We're going to take, these are obviously going to be the legs. We're going to split these and we're going to spin them. We're going to have these wheels pointed straight to the front of the robot. Come around back, open up these two panels right here and right there, and swivel the feet out. These are on ball joints, and then close these panels back up again. Take the top portion of the body here, and we're just going to press the torso into the waist. Just compress that, and that's going to reveal the head. We're going to take these two sections of the fire truck here. We're going to pull these out to each sides and rotate them to the side of the robot. There's your lights and sounds again. Take your light bars, angle these guys up, just like so. Come around front, take the arms, these panels here, you pull these down and turn them. Pull that panel down and turn, that reveals the arms. And lastly, I'm going to give him his gun. And here we have Robots in Disguise, Optimus Prime in robot mode. And how cool is this? Does this guy look? I think this guy just looks so awesome. It's a completely new look, a completely new, different take on Optimus Prime, while still being very evocative of the Prime theme, the red and the blues. You got the chest windows, you've got the classic blue head, completely different look, but you can still look at this guy and you know it's Optimus Prime. And I really, really love the design of this figure. Now, in robot mode, he's about 8 inches tall at the head. For articulation, this guy's very well articulated. He's got a ball jointed head, so you can go up and down, you can turn him around. He's very, very emotive. So there's all that. The earpieces spin. These are actually articulated, but I don't know why, because you put them there, and that's pretty much where you're going to keep them. So there's that. Shoulders, he's got in and out of the shoulders. And there's his electronics again. I guess we're going to be hitting that a lot. In and out at the shoulder, we got 360 as well. We got a good 90 at the elbow. And do his fists rotate? Yeah, his fists are actually on the ball joint. So you can move those around as well. Let's see. Yep. Rotation of the fist. So very cool. At the, move the arms out of the way here. Go down to the hips. We got in and out. Not completely all the way out on the hip. You can only go about that far. But you also got forward and backward. Works very well. And you've got 90 at the knee, and he actually goes forward a little bit, although I don't think you want to do that. It looks painful. And like I said, he's got ball jointed ankles. So this guy is very, very articulated, very, very cool. I adore this guy. I just think he looks so, so cool. Let's take a look at that head again. Just look at that. I just really, really love this story. This is a guy right here, man. I'm telling you. This is the guy that got me back into collecting Transformers. And it's because he is so awesome and he looks so, so cool. Now, we'll set this guy over here and we'll just have him stand in the background, and he can supervise us as we get into the actually no, before we get into the gun platform. There's another thing we can do here. He had, before he went into Super Robot Mode or any of the combined modes that he does, he's also got like a Powerup Mode. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bring in, if you remember, the back of the truck. There's one more thing that I haven't done with this, and that is split it in half. This piece splits right here. You can see there's your tail lights and all that back of the truck there. That's where the ladder was mounted. So you take this, split it in half. Come on the bottom. And this is going to become the foot later, but for right now, we're just going to pop that out, just like so. And we're just going to angle it straight down, and we're going to take these wheels, and we're going to fold them in. And we're going to have that like that. Same thing on this side. And what this is going to do is it's going to become, you see there's a port right there, and right there. And you'll see right here on the shoulders, he's got these two pegs. So we're going to pop these guys right on his shoulders, and these are going to become shoulder-mounted missile pods. And how cool is that? That is an Optimus Prime you do not want to mess with. This guy has 12 shoulder-mounted missiles that he can fire and blow up your face. That is just so, so cool. Now, there's another thing that he did on the show. When he actually did do this on the show once or twice. He didn't do it often. He did it just a handful of times, but he did do it. So this is an official cartoon scene mode. So now, for some, I'm looking through my pieces here while I'm trying to talk. Go ahead and identify which side is your left arm, and that's this side right here. When this was in robot or in truck mode, it's the side that had the blue. This would have been the driver's side, and it had this blue frame down to the bottom. So what you're going to do here is you're going to take this whole piece and you're going to split it. Remember I told you it had these hinges. So you just split that all the way like that. And you're going to take this hand and you're going to turn it around. Now what's going to happen is you see these two ports here. Optimus has two pegs on the side of his arm. So go ahead and plug these guys in just like so. And then the rest of this hand here is kind of like a big gauntlet. Just wraps around Optimus's arm, and the panels just kind of plug into each other. Now, this is the part that I found kind of weird. When he did this on the show, he would have both of his shoulder-mounted missile pods, but he would only have one of his super motor arms. I don't know either. That's just the way he did it on the show, so I'm showing you as well. But I personally prefer the look of it like I had it a minute ago, and that is just like this. That is just so freaking cool. And I'm going to take this guy, I'm going to put it back the way we had it in truck mode, and there's a reason for that. So, there you go. There is the Powerup Mode Optimus Prime with his shoulder-mounted missile pods. I'm going to take those off, and there's the electronics again. Now, we're going to put Optimus to the back. I'm going to take these guys, and actually, I'm going to leave them as is. I'm only going to take these two pegs that were off to the sides like that, and I'm going to just push those all the way up, and I'm going to plug this back in again. Let me adjust the camera for you. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the ladder part, and I'm going to mount it right back to the back of the truck the way it was in truck mode. Just the same as if I was turning it back into truck mode. So you have the two ports, you have the two pegs, just plug that right there, just like that. Take your ladder, put it straight up, and on the head here you just kind of push the head down and put these side cannons up. That kind of sort of covers the head up a little bit. So we're going to get tall here, guys. So I'm going to try and push this back as far as I can. Now, bring all these other pieces back here again. We're going to take our parts of the Autobot symbols. We're going to have them, obviously, oriented with the Autobot symbols right side up. And then we're going to take these guys right here. And we're going to open these up again, just like I showed you, just like that. And then what we're going to do here is we want the blue trim facing to the front. So you're going to take these cannons and you're going to face them the same direction as the blue trim. You're going to take your hands and rotate them and then angle them down. And these also double as cannons. These can be like little grenade launchers or something like that. So there's that. So there's that. That's going to go on that side. Same thing over here. We pop this guy open, rotate the cannon to the side of the blue trim, and turn our hand just like that, okay? Now, next thing we're going to do is you see that right here on the bottom there's a peg, and right here on the top of this piece there is a port. Plug those together. Same thing on the other one. And then if you look on the bottom of this piece here right next to the cannon, you'll see another peg right there. And if you look here on the base, you'll see that there's ports on each side. So we're going to plug those right there and right there. So, plug this guy here, plug this guy here, push this guy back because we are running out of room. Open the sides of the ladder up, and the last thing we're going to do, let me adjust this camera. And we are getting very, very tall. I'm going to have to push this guy all the way back. Top of the ladder, you fold it to the front. Top of the ladder, let me try that again. Top of the ladder, fold it to the front, deploy your cannons. And there is the gun platform for Robots in Disguise, Optimus Prime. And that thing looks pretty cool if you ask me. Now you've got, like I said, you've got these cannons right here on the front. The hands also double as cannons. You've got these cannons up here at the top. And then also, this guy can rotate forward. You can deploy the cannons out of the back and shoot those as well. So the name of the game is playing and using your imagination, and I think this guy delivers. This guy's got a lot of stuff that you can do. So there you can see Optimus Prime, Robots in the Sky, Optimus Prime with his gun platform. I just think that is so cool. And again, like I said, the gun platform stands about 15 inches tall in this mode. It's about 8 inches long from back to the front, and it's about 12 inches wide from the Autobot symbol to Autobot symbol. So take that into consideration if you plan to display this guy in gun platform mode. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy out. And before we get into the super mode for Optimus here, we're going to do another combination. I'm going to bring a special guest. This guy right here is Robots in Disguise Ultra Magnus. Now I know I said that I wasn't going to cover Ultra Magnus in these videos. So why is this guy here? Well, in the show, Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus combined to create Omega Prime. So I'm going to go into that combination right now. And I'm not going to go into taking this guy apart and converting his pieces into the parts of the super robot. For the sake of saving some time, I'm just going to go ahead and transform him off camera, and then we're going to get into the combination with Prime. So let's say goodbye to Magnus here for a second. We'll bring Prime. Oh, man, with the electronics. Okay. And let's get to the combination mode, shall we? So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take off Optimus's gun. We'll set that aside. We don't need that for a minute. And to get this guy ready to go into combination mode, the first thing we're going to do is take his shoulders, pull them apart, come around back, take his light bars, push them all the way down, and then we're going to take his torso and just pull that up and separate it from the rest of the body like he was when he was coming out of truck mode and into robot mode originally. Alright, so I'm trying to do this as far back as possible because this guy is going to get tall. So I'm going to bring in this guy right here. This is going to be his Omega boot. And if you look in here, there is a peg right there. There's a peg here and a port there. This guy's actually double pegged there and there. If you look in the bottom of the foot here, there's ports on the bottom of the feet, and there are ports on the front of his shins. So, bottom of the foot is going to plug in right into the Omega boot. We're going to take this blue piece here. We're going to plug it into the front of his shin. This guy is very secure. And then we're going to take that port there, and we're going to plug it into that plug right there. So once you get all this lined up, this is on a double hinge, so sometimes you got to play with it a little bit. There. And that plugs in pretty securely there. Alright, we're going to take that side and we're going to do the same over here. And already you can see this guy is getting tall. This guy is going to be massive. You just wait. If you've never seen this guy before, you just wait. This guy looks so cool. So there's the look of that. There's Optimus with his Omega boots. Let's bring him back up here. This part is really cool. The way they started the transformation on the show was Optimus and Omega would do this handshake. And they've kind of replicated that here. This is Magnus's hand, and that is Omega's hand. And I think I said Omega and Prime with handshake. It's Magnus and Prime with handshake. So, like I said, Magnus's hand. You take this guy right here. If you look in the thumb, he's got a plug on the thumb, and the fist works as a port. So you actually plug that thumb into the fist, and as you can see, that almost looks like they're going into a handshake. Now, remember the two plugs on the side of Optimus's arm. There's two ports right here, right above these tires. So you fold this guy in and plug those two ports into those two pegs right there. And then the rest of these panels are going to fold up, much like Optimus's arms did. And these go all the way around all four sides, and they plug into each other, and they become pretty secure. So, same thing on this side here. We're going to take the Magnus fist, handshake with Optimus, plug our ports into our pegs on this side here, just like that. Bring these panels up, and they all click into each other. And there Yep, no, you stay up. I am amazed that I just did that without making the sounds go off again. So, there's where we are so far. Now, this is the part that is, this next part's a little scary. I've actually been a little scared of doing this next part on camera. What we're going to do here is, this is the torso for Omega Prime. Now, if you open this guy up, what we're going to do here is you're going to notice there are two ports there and there. And there are two plugs on the top of Optimus here and here. There's actually three, but this one in the back is going to go unused for now. We're only going to use these two here. And then these two pegs here are going to fold. This whole piece is going to fold down, and these two pegs are going to plug into these two ports in the front of Optimus's chest. So I'm going to try and do this as best as I can while looking through this phone. It's not the most comfortable thing. But once you get it in there, he's pretty secure. So once we get him in there, and we get him all plugged in, and I think I actually managed to do that on the first try. There we go. That actually worked. Now we're going to bring Optimus's body. If you remember, we stretched Optimus's body all the way up. Now we're going to let it drop so that this cod piece here lines up with the Optimus's cod piece there. So we're just going to let it drop naturally, and then it stops where it's supposed to. Just straighten that out, straighten out his head, and there is Robots in Disguise Omega Prime. And I really have to back up because this guy is massive, but how cool is that? That's the first time that we got Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus to combine, and I just think that is so cool. Now this guy in the combined robot mode, he's 12 inches tall at the head. 13 if you want to go up to the wings. So take that into consideration if you plan to display him in Omega mode. As far as articulation goes, he's got pretty much it's all the same articulation that Optimus has. He's got the in and out at the shoulders. He can go 360, but obviously these guys here are going to get in the way. And then same thing with the elbow. The elbows work pretty good. Though there's nothing really getting in the way of that. He's also got fist articulation, and he's got thumb articulation. Legs are still articulated, in and out, front and back. He loses his knee articulation, but he's got ankle articulation. However, this guy can be a little top heavy, and I don't know how much you really want to try and pose him. I mean, I think he just looks super cool just standing there and being imposing and me looking anyway. I mean, how cool does that look? And for some reason now he's decided he wants to lean back. He was standing straight a minute ago for the camera. Now he doesn't want to behave for us. There we go. I think that's better. Let me see. Yep. That looks good. So, there is Omega Prime. And Optimus Prime, Ultra Magnus, combined mode. And also the head is ball jointed, as you saw just now. So, there is Robots in Disguise, Omega Prime. So, at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take these guys apart. And take Optimus back to his regular robot mode, and then we're going to do the combination for the super truck mode. For the super robot mode, and close out. And here we have Optimus back to regular robot mode and prepped for combination with the rest of his trailer to go into super robot mode. Now, all I've done is pretty much take him back to his regular robot mode, but I left him in combined prep, which was, if you remember, the shoulders are pulled back, the torso is extended, the head is hidden, and the light bars are tucked away. So, if you remember the back of the truck that we used for the shoulder cannons, what we're going to do, these are going to be his super robot mode boots. So what we're going to do here is we're still going to leave this extended. We're going to leave the wheels folded in. We're going to take these panels and we're going to open these up. And then there's these panels in here. And I find it easier to just go around the bottom here and push them out. Just like so. So there's one. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Open that up. Push that out. There's the other. And much like with the Omega boot, you're going to see there's a peg there that's going to plug into the bottom of Optimus's foot. And then that peg there is going to plug into the front of his shin. Same thing on both sides. So go ahead and plug that guy into his boots. And there is Optimus Prime with his super robot mode boots. There you go. Now the arms, you remember how the arms worked from when we did the cannon, the shoulder cannon mode. There's two ports there. There's 2 pegs on the side of the arm, and then these panels are going to fold around the rest of it, and they all plug into each other. So go ahead and do that. I'm going to pop that in there. Plug. Straighten out the fist. Same thing on this side. Plug that in. Pop these into place. Straighten out his fist. And you're going to notice that looks very similar to what we had right before we combined the Omega mode. So there's that mode there. Next thing I'm going to do, might seem a little out of order, but there's a reason for this. I'm going to take the part that had the ladder on it. I'm going to extend this up and all the way around, just like that. Now, there is, if you look on the bottom here, there's a hinge right here. So what you want to do is you want to take this and turn it to the side, and then take your ladder and rotate all the way around. If you notice, those ratchets, after all these years, are still pretty strong. And then you fold the ladder all the way down, take these cannons, fold them all the way up like that. So basically what you did is you took the ladder would have been behind his head, you rotated it over so it's kind of off to the side now. And just like we did with the Omega Prime combination, now we're going to make use of all 3 ports and all 3 pegs on the top of Optimus Prime. And then just like we did with Omega, we've got these 2 plugs here that are going to plug into the ports on the front of his chest. So go ahead and plug those in. And we are going to hit those buttons, aren't we? So those are going to plug right in there. These 2 pegs are going to plug right there. And then we just let the body fall naturally, just like we did with Omega. Straighten that out. And then finally, we're going to take these 2 pieces here. Remember the pieces with the Autobot symbols. Now we want these silver bars facing to the front. And these guys are just going to clip right there. In fact, I want to take this guy and turn it a little bit. These guys are going to clip right here on the top of his shoulders. And finally, we're going to take his handgun from his regular robot mode, and that's going to plug in into this port right here, which is the exact same port it was plugged in fire truck mode. And there is Robots in Disguise, Optimus Prime in his super robot mode. And how cool does this guy look? I think this guy just looks amazing. Now, this guy didn't get a lot of popularity because, oh, he doesn't look like Prime. But, I mean, his robot mode looked just like Prime. I always thought that robot mode was very evocative of Optimus Prime. And then, you know, super robot mode, he's combined with the rest of the truck. He doesn't necessarily have to look like Optimus Prime. If you remember the Power Master Optimus Prime, when he combined with the God Bomber trailer, you know, he kind of got away from the classic Optimus Prime look, and that's kind of what this guy did, and I think it's just very, very, very cool. Now, as far as, as far as this super robot mode goes, he's about 10 inches tall at the head, 11 and a half if you want to go here to the ladder. So take that into consideration if you plan to display him in this mode, which is actually the mode that I display him in and always have. Articulation, his head is on a ball joint, and I want to take a good look at that head. I mean, just look at that. That is so cool. He's got that articulation there. He's got his, you know, you can take these shoulders and push them in a little bit. That's actually what I tend to do, so that they don't look so separated. They work really good for Omega mode, but for this mode, I like to push them in just a little bit. So there's that. I think that looks better that way. He's still got his in and out. He can go all the way around, but as you can see, that is the problem if you try to turn them all the way around. These shoulder pads, they do click into place, but they're also very easy to pop off. So, you know, you can pose them, and that's actually why I left those for last. Because typically, if you go by the instructions, they tell you to go boots, arms, shoulder pads, and then the headpiece. But I find that every time I do it in that order, when I'm trying to pop the headpiece and the chest piece in, I pop off those shoulder pieces. So I just do it at the end. So he's got it's all the same articulation that he had in regular robot mode. So he still has his elbow. These fists also have rotation. They're on a ball joint. You can turn them in and out. And he's got articulation at the thumb. Hips are the same articulation. Still got his knees. No ankle. He loses his ankle articulation. So, a couple of features. He's got this panel here that opens up. And unlike other primes, he doesn't show off a matrix. He actually has yet another cannon. This guy is armed to the teeth. And then one last thing that he does, and he actually did do this on the show, I want to try and pull back, is this ladder. Let's see if we can do this in camera. He would actually do this on the show. He would pop the ladder up and over and point the cannons forward, and he would actually bring his arm up and hold the ladder up with his arm, and he would shoot these water cannons. I'm having a hard time trying to do this from way back here, but yeah, he would actually do that on the show. Let me see if there you go. There you go, just like that. Put this on, just kind of make them a little more dynamic. Deploy those cannons, and how cool does that look? He actually did do this on the show. He would flip that ladder up and over his shoulder. He would shoot off these water cannons. He would shoot off the missiles. I mean, this guy was a walking, talking arsenal, ready to blow up your face on that show. He was just so cool. So, I think that pretty much covers Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime. Let me see if I can real quick get him back into a standing pose for you so we can close this out. I absolutely adore this toy. Like I said, this guy has a special place in my heart. I absolutely love him. This is the guy that got me back into collecting Optimus Primes. So I think that pretty much takes care of Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave me a comment, subscribe, share with your friends if you like what you see, and I will talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.